Good evening and welcome to Reporters Diary on the Eco of India's Facebook page. Before we move ahead with our reporters, here are the major issues that we are tracking today. Calling it as the need of the hour, a single judge bench of Supreme Court of India today ordered a Central Bureau of Investigation probe in the matter of actor Sushant Singh Rajput's death. The apex court bench of Justice Rishikesh Roy ordered the Mumbai police to hand over all evidence it has collected to CBI. Following several complaints of irregularities in the purchase of materials to upgrade the health infrastructure after the finance department relaxed norms of tender process amid the COVID-19 pandemic, Mamata Banerjee government in West Bengal has formed a three-member panel to probe the matter. The three members of the panel are State Home Secretary Alapan Bandyopadhyay, State Finance Secretary Hari Krishna Dwivedi, and State Health Secretary Narayan Swarup Nigam. Afghanistan is again in the news for wrong reasons. At least 4 persons were killed and more than 13 were injured in the bomb attacks in Kabul and northern Afghanistan on Wednesday. And now here is a piece of good news for power distribution companies, popularly known as DISCOMs, as the union government on Wednesday approved a proposal to give one-time relaxation in working capital limit norm for DISCOMs under the much-hyped Ujjwal DISCOM Assurance Yojana Uday. This will help DISCOMs in getting loans as part of the rupees 90,000 crore liquidity infusion scheme. And now from the sports section. BCCI sources on Wednesday, the highest cricket control body of the country, sources have said is that the body is not ready to settle with the current offer from fantasy gaming platform Dream 11 hold on to the next two editions of IPL. Sources also said that BCCI might ask Dream 11 to revisit bids for 2021 and 2022. These are the major issues that are in news today. Now we move on to our reporters. We are joined by Razia and Asmita. Asmita, what are the major things at our end?
Safi, on the Vishwabharati incident, today Birbhum District Magistrate and Police Super called a meeting with university authorities, but the university authorities didn't attend the meeting, and later they issued a notice where they explained that the authorities took
Yes.
to control of the Paushmala fairground and started raising the boundary wall following a direction from the National Green Terminal. And also today teachers and students of Vishwabharati University condemns campus violence.
Right. So this is Vishwabharati news that we have, which is like important. We move on to Port Blair with Razia. Razia, what's happening in Port Blair?
Shafi, I would like to start with a interesting story. The villagers of Rangat. Rangat is a small island here in Andaman Nicobar Island. The villagers are decided to donate a AC to the hospital, the government hospital, the community health center of Rangat, because the thyroid unit is not working and the authorities are whenever inquire, the authorities are telling the AC is not working here, so that's why the unit is not on progress. So because of that, the villagers had to pay to the private laboratories, and it's a big challenge during this COVID-19 also, because they are unable to, there are many private workers and it's very difficult for them to pay the laboratory bills. So finally, the villagers decided to collect money and donate to the hospital AC. And the second thing is the lockdown. As I said, 18th was the second term. So the lockdown is we're noticing the rise in COVID-19 cases here in Andaman. That rate is increased to 30 here in Andaman. So the lockdown is extended till August 25, and the private buses and transport services are extended to 25th. So these two things I would like to say in today's put there, Shafi.
All right, we move on to now Riddhi. Riddhi, what major things at your end?
The story that I have is Congress leader Rahul Gandhi today claimed that the government cannot fool about the truth about employment, that nearly 2 crore people lost their livelihood in the last 4 months amidst the pandemic. He tweeted that we cannot allow any manipulation of our hard-earned democracy through bias, fake news, and hate speech. As exposed by the Wall Street Journal, Facebook's involvement in peddling fake and hate news needs to be questioned by all Indians. Also, hitting back at Congress, Union IT Minister and senior BJP leader Ravi Shankar Prasad said people whose political base has shrunk like anything seek to dominate discourse on these platforms. He also said that everybody has their own right to air their views. Another story about Enforcement Directorate today conducted a multi-city searches in case of the money laundering case filed against Tablighi Jamaat leader Maulana Saad Khandalvi. ED said that they were raiding at different places like Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad and he was alleged that despite repeated efforts, the event organizers failed to inform the health department about the huge gathering inside the markaz and deliberately disobeyed the government order. The government had said that more than 25,500 Tablighi Jamaat members and their contacts have been quarantined in the country after the center and the state government conducted a mega operation to identify them. Over to you, Safi.
Okay, Riddhi. Sumanto, yes, today we started with Port Blair earlier,
Okay.
but now we move on to North Bengal and Sikkim. Yes, Sumanto.
Yeah, the basic thing is that recently there had been several incidences of man-animal conflict in North Bengal, and in many cases, people were killed in elephant attack and houses were destroyed. Today, the forest officers said that one of the major reasons behind this man-animal conflict is that the elephants are getting distracted from the regular corridors because of the garbage that are dumped in the areas that link the forest with the mainland. And what is more interesting is that the forest department said it is not just the common villagers who are responsible for dumping these garbages. It's the army bases in that areas who also dump their garbages in those roads that link the forest to the mainland. That's distracting the animals and increasing the man-animal conflict every day. This is very interesting. Anyway, the forest department is in touch with the army officials so that this thing can be stopped and the garbages are not dumped there. That is the first point on this from North Bengal, because as you know, North Bengal is an important wildlife zone for Bengal, and man-animal conflict are regular there. Second is that the Siliguri area, the administration has decided to waive off cremation fees in certain crematoriums in view of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has been naturally welcomed because in such a situation, many have lost their jobs, many don't have the incomes, so that at least some relief can be given to them. That is all from Siliguri and North Bengal. And as far as Sikkim is concerned, there's no major news except a 57-year-old person in Peling, West Sikkim, has died of COVID-19 today, taking the total death to 3. But the Sikkim administration is quite happy that throughout all this time, when death figures in states like West Bengal has increased to over 1,000, then
Right.
they have been able to restrict it to 3. That's all from Sikkim and North Bengal today.
All right. Thanks once again. Thanks, Razia, Asmita, Shumanto, and Riddhi for joining Reporters Diary this evening. Viewers, this is all we have in Reporters Diary this evening. You can watch us, join us again tomorrow evening at 6:30 for another edition of Reporters Diary. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.